people ain't gonna do shit. You understand what I'm saying? And we even wonder why, and we even have to question why we even have to even talk about the concept of race. Not talking about white people, don't get me wrong now. You ain't never got to hear me go crazy on that shit. By including no crackers. You understand what I'm saying? You might do what you want to do and that's well and fine. But I'm from Mullen, South Carolina, and I ain't never met none that I'm supposed to have an alliance with. But the point I'm trying to make is when we talk about this concept of the race, that is a myth. All we have is us. You see what I'm saying? But it's comforting to know that in actuality, there wasn't not but a few of us in the beginning anyway, and all this other stuff is like the vampire thing was saying, you're just a doggone weak genetic strain. And maybe that's why they can't get it. Because it's got something to do with, well, in order to get something, you got to have something. You see what I'm saying? You got to have something. You see, and maybe that's why they can't get it. You see, what's that?
My other question was, you got some people who like to fake the funk. You know, they like to fake like they're priests and all
yeah,
that.
I know.
How do you identify somebody who's real?
But my point is this here. I think that's going to be the trap. I think that's going to be the trap because even that itself is, first of all, we know we in hell. That's the bottom line. We know we in hell. So certain things come with being in a mental institution. Everybody's sick. My point is that I don't even think that even should be even the focus. You see what I'm saying? I don't even think that even should be the focus because ultimately it's futile when the only thing that can lift you up is yourself. You understand? Now, I pretty much well know when I do a lecture that some people in the room are thinking this nigga is insane. You know what I'm saying? Some people just not going to get it. Right now, I bet you right now, if I walked into the church in Atlanta, I'll meet somebody that's done been to my lectures. You see what I'm saying? To give you the same example of what I'm talking about is my sister-in-law. We used to meditate every doggone Saturday night back in 93, 94. I mean, she was right in the thick of things. My brother won't let a white man, he won't let the white man come in his damn house. And his wife know all this stuff. This is my sister-in-law. She was thinking the damn funk. And sure enough, soon as my brother got his business and he started working all the doggone time and just chilling, he wasn't there but damn near on the weekends, her ass went right back and joined that church. Knowing, but it's based on a social thing. All because she want her little damn 3 daughters to wear some fucking dresses. You know what I'm saying? And get into that whole social thing about church. So my point is but that doesn't have a hill of beans to do. I mean, that's going to be given. That's going to happen. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I think if you focus on it, you see, plus also, too, that is great. Because I got this in the notes. That is actually good. Now, let me explain this to you. If we didn't have black people totally messed up, America and this realm would be the greatest country on earth because it would have done what it set out to do or what it's been lying to say it has done. We represent the enigma that America is not great. When I was in New York, I told motherfuckers to suffer the best of your damn ability. Wherever there's pain and suffering, you go to the pain and damn suffering. Let it kick you in your ass. Because to want to even be a part of this doggone pleasure with this shit after they done kill you and your ancestors is admitting defeat. So, in so many words, in actuality, all that we faking the funk, black people ain't this and black people ain't that, it's all good. A ghetto phrase ain't never been one that came up in the 90s with the Snoop Dogg to dog shit, was it's all good. Now what does this mean? America right now, they merged with this America Online and Warner Brothers and all this great stuff. They are telling the people around the world that this is the dream that has been actualized, and this is the dream that has been carried out, and in so many words, the white man has made it. He's on top. He's got the entire world saying, man, you are the shit. You got me on a cell phone, you got me on the internet, you got me on all this great stuff, and he has camouflaged himself where nobody is saying, this mother is fucked up, especially the people around the world. And yet they come in this country and everybody look at us at disgust because we can't get nothing right. And on the physical realm, we can't get nothing right. You look at BET and when they be fucking up. The show don't come on time and shit. It might go off for a while and stuff, you know what I'm saying? All kind of crazy stuff. Wherever we are, confusion and chaos is. But we represent, don't you understand? We represent chaos, but don't you understand that that myself is the greatness that we represent? Here's a country, here's a world, here's Europe. They are now supreme all over the planet Earth. Because if you think for one damn minute the African ain't trying to get with him, you crazy. He is supreme all over the earth. And here it is that no matter how great his country is, his country made these pathetic people they call black people. And that's the good part about it, because we represent. Because, you know, they're trying to hide and lie and camouflage that America is so great. But the only thing you got to look at us, and if we are the product, then that is the cancer. And as long as you got a cancer, like the man said in the Matrix, a virus. But as long as you have a cancer, that means in actuality, you ain't healthy. So in actuality, that's all a part of the process. If you gotta look beyond just the what you call it and all. That's all a part of the process and stuff. Because the key here is we can get caught into what people are not doing, and that filters into the ego aspect, and we still missing the mark. But then again, on the other hand, that's the greatness of it. Just think about what I'm trying to say here. Let's say that every black person, that talented tip bullshit, because W.E.B. Du Bois, although he's one of the greatest intellectuals now, that nigga was about total equality in white society at first. But let's just say that what the Boule, because he did come to his senses, it was late in his life, but he did come to his senses. Let's say if this the Negro Boule, and they would want nothing more. And just the average black person. And they're not necessarily bad, it's just because we just figure we live in the country, we supposed to do better in it. That's just human survival if you don't know nothing. But let's just say the average black person, that we all got what we wanted. And they can look back and they lifted everybody out of poverty. And everybody's on the equal firm footage. And now we like the other ethnic groups, like the Jews, like the Irish, like the Italian. You understand what I'm saying? We got human problems, but we don't have these racial problems and these equality things no more. You understand what I'm saying? We taking ourselves in society. Then, if this actually happened, then we would have lost. Because there wouldn't have been no vindication. Because apparently, to merge into this society, your oppressor would have to given you those things. And by him giving you those things, you understand what I'm saying? You can't blame him no more for being the person that he's not. So in actuality, you understand what I'm saying? Being the person that you can't blame him for being the person he's not. So in actuality, this is actually good.
But you're at spiritual, okay, but we came in at the highest high.
Yeah.
So then we dropped to the lowest low.
Yeah.
So then there's the white man here.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And we have really fallen under him.
Yeah.
Thinking that we're God's supposed to
Right.
be, thinking we're
Well, that's the other part of it.
So you don't have nowhere to go but up.
Yeah, and that's the other part of it. If you give in to him totally, and everybody seemed to be all right, that means that you will only accept the low level, because that's all he is, civilized barbarism.
But the physical thing is saying that your DNA chain is coming back.
Well, naturally, that's yeah, but when you talk about DNA and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? You're talking about something that's more than just the physical.
Right.
It's the spiritual.
Right.
But remember now,
That's right.
the original, if it's coming back, and we're talking about a jump, we're talking about a quickening.
Right.
It's not going back to Hemmitt, because that's the low point. It's going back to non-physical, because we didn't start off in the physical.
Right.
We gradually fell to the physical.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So even to accept Hemmitt in the highest civilization that we had in the physical is a low level. You see, is actually a low level. You see what I'm saying also too. Any more questions?
Yeah. I would like to expand on my question. I don't think you understood my question about the priest. See, there are some people in this community and other communities who are very serious about studying the knowledge you're putting out. And I say it's probably like one other person, 12 people in Detroit I can come discuss this stuff with. A lot of times you got people who want to front and say, okay, yeah, I believe it, but they go, you know, they'll still be on that bullshit level.
Yeah.
And my thing is, I'm about getting to the point. If I could find a way to get out of this shit and leave this American society and go somewhere and live, I'd do that. I'd drive my car and do all that shit. My point is this, is that how can you recognize those people? I know how to do it, but I want to hear you say it. How can you recognize those people who are really kind of serious about these studies?
I mean, it's water seeps its own level. You understand what I'm saying? Water seeps its own level. I don't even think should even be the focus. I don't think that should even be the focus, because ultimately, in actuality, I know me. Other than somebody initially teaching me something, which is already done to get me on the path, it's pretty much up to me, because we're talking about the only person that has a path to your soul is yourself. So the whole notion that you got to work with somebody else is not necessarily the end all and be all in the first place.
That's how we got trapped in the first place.
You see what I'm saying? So my point here is, it doesn't really matter if you can't find nobody. It just only matters if you already there. I mean, if you already gonna do it for yourself, then it's futile to even think about whether you got a bunch of front niggas and all that kind of thing here, because ultimately you're gonna only have to do it by yourself anyway.
So I'm saying that you're the one who's the black dot, not somebody else who out there.
Right. So I'm just saying. So my point is you just answered your question. You just answered your question.
So I don't have to go to nobody else.
No, you know that.
All right.
Because ultimately, if it was that way, I mean, you would be in some type of religion or somewhere. But because you're in the metaphysics and it's talking about inwardly, then ultimately it's going to have to be you. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing. They even showed you, now hell, you saw the movie Matrix. He had an excellent teacher, Morpheus and all them, and hell, they pumped all that knowledge in his damn head overnight with them damn 10 hours straight. He's still going, and he had everything, but he said, listen, I can take you to the door, but you're going to have to walk the door. So ultimately, why even bullshit around, why even trying to get some organization, when ultimately, you're going to have to walk the path? Because the simple fact that we know this right now, we can start an organization right now, and the goals and the objectives up in here would be fine. Everybody up in here would be right. But over the course of the damn weeks, you understand what I'm saying? We'll have 400 Indian chiefs. You see what I'm saying? One or two Indians following, or we'll have all Indians or one Indian chief. You see what I'm saying? Ultimately, it's going to have to be up to the individual. Up to the individual. That's why I was very clear in my career of doing this to not let nobody follow me. You see what I'm saying? So my point is just look at me. I'm not depending on no other motherfuckers to give me no damn knowledge. And God knows I got enough of it. I'm in here lecturing to you. And I'm saying I deal with people every day, and I don't shut myself off from the people. Because I don't shut myself off from the people. But my point is, on the other hand too, I deal with them every day, but I understand that it's going to be that way. Plus, you must understand this here too. You must understand the conditions that we're working from. We're working from a prison cell. If you're working from the maximum security prison, then you automatically know that it don't supposed to be a utopia. And I'm saying in one hand, and I'm saying what I'm trying to say is on the other hand, for you even dwelling on that and all, I think that's something, that's a bridge you got to get across, get over.
I'm not dwelling on. I'm saying I agree with what you're saying, because I hear people say that we got to go to a priest or everything. I'll go priest.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know what
Yeah,
I agree with you.
I get where you're coming from, because I get where you're coming from.
Saying that because I don't have to go no priest for no reading.
I get where you're coming from.
Go directly to
I
God
see what
for
you're
that.
doing. You're making a response based on
Well, I hear people telling me.
age-old fact in most cities now. Age-old fact in most cities now. And every 5 minutes there's somebody new popping up. Now they got one guy, he's down in Atlanta and he's doing whole foods, live foods. And that's all well based on the diet thing and all. But now I've seen a man 60. And his whole concept of everything that he's thinking about now is based on this goddamn nigga he just met. Everything, his whole world is based around this nigga when selling the live, doing the whole foods and the live foods, and you gotta get this in, you gotta do all this here and all, and the live foods, and sister, it's imperative that you give me sex so you can be spiritually opened up. And all that crazy shit, you know, we get it every 5 fucking damn years, or some asshole out here exploiting people. But yet this guy's in his 60s, and he's gone to this guy, and his whole concept is centered around this guy. And before that, he told me he was in the Nation of Islam. He told me he was in several groups over the last 40 years that he was a part of, and I'm quite sure when he was in those groups, his whole identity was around that person. You see what I'm saying? But dealing with that and all, first of all, the only master there is, when you just look at the concept, it's an oxymoron to go to a master when the word itself means that you have to master self. So he might very well be his own master, or claiming to be, but he can't be your master, because he does not have access to master your self, because we don't know what ulterior motives is. It's just like my sister-in-law was all down with it. She would talk all this stuff. She would talk about all the Uncle Tom niggas and everything else. You know what I'm saying? Night and day, her husband would argue Christians down. But when push come to shove, her ass went back and joined that church. You see what I'm saying? So ultimately, you don't know what is in somebody's mind. We know that right now. You live with a person for 40 years, husband and wife, and wake up and don't even know the nigga. Shit, you don't even know the woman. You know what I'm saying? You never knew that they was thinking that. So ultimately, you don't know somebody's mind, so therefore the only person that can be mastered is self. Is self. And yes, each city, but then again, on the other hand, that's a given. Because each major city and country town gonna have somebody that everybody is focusing around and saying, this is the one. He is the one. She's the one. But I thought that the majority of these lectures focused on people who was trying to understand in actuality that they are the one, or you should be. You understand what I'm saying? So even that, when it even come to that level, that's even fueled out about all these niggas. Because it's not just Detroit. It's New York. It's Atlanta. You see what I'm saying? It's Chicago. When I went to Chicago, hell, they had everybody up in the lecture had some master. And the guy said, look, Chicago is going to be like any other place you ever went to. He said, everybody up in here is following some damn body. You see what I'm saying? Following somebody. You see? So, yeah, that's a given. But the only master, there's no such thing as no guru master. How the hell they going to have a guru over in India and they got niggas on the street in Bangladesh and shit begging for damn, not quarters, begging for damn bicycle spokes or something. Eating rats. What's that, sister?
I want to ask you, how do you enhance your memory? Like you have that memory.
Well, you know, the water is one of the keys to enhancing the memory. That's one of the natural keys is water. The other key is, you know, the ginkgo is stuff that from the tree that does it. There's several herbs and stuff that you can take that enhance memory. And also, too, I got a spell up in here that enhance memory also, too. It's coming from the papyrus. I just so happen that it's coming from the papyrus of papyrus, the one that was taken out of the university. It's taken from the Library of Alexandria when they raided the temples and ended up at the University of Chicago. So I got those. I still got some of those for sales. And there's a ritual for just about everything for the people that wasn't here last night and didn't get it. There's a ritual just about cover everything you need is in those things and all. And we'll explain how to do that also too. We'll explain how to do that also too.
We got about 35 minutes before we take a break.
35 minutes before we take a break.
Yeah.
Well, let's try to stretch this out as long as that. Well, or should I just go on and start the lecture? How you want to do this?
Let's stretch this out.
No, wait. Why don't you tell them about what you have on the table, and then start the lecture. Then we cut it after you get a little bit into the lecture. You know what I mean?
Well, basically, the people wasn't here last night. We have the Alexandria ritual. There's several rituals, about 17 different pages, and it's about 30-something different rituals for just about everything in the world. Higher self, memory, dreams, love spells, how to bind a nigga, you know, how to get somebody up for messing with you, business, every aspect of society. There's a ritual that actually can do that now. We have this rare Osiris book done by an author from England in 1988, and I begged people to get it, and they never did get the book. And then the book went out of print. I think it was out of print when I was begging them to get it. So I took it upon myself to take the concept of Osea that came out of the book, as well as Isis and Osiris, and put it together. And all, because if you notice, it seemed like it's a little simple pamphlet, but if you really start reading it all, you find out you can read that thing over and over and over again, because it's really complex. Well, it's not necessarily complex. You can understand it, but there's a lot in there.
Is it
So
for sale?
yeah. So both of those together is 14. We got the apology from the Nation of Islam, and we have this particular article coming from England on how white people came from white apes. Just another thing to log as Exhibit A into the ongoing thing that they're not necessarily from the God that created you, or whatever the thing is, and stuff like that. So we have those things there also too. Now, let me go into a couple of things right now. Let me go into a couple of things right now. Let me get some papers and stuff. Bear with me 1 minute. Let me get this hard copy. 1, 2, and we'll end it off with that stuff first. We'll get through all of that. Number one, before I get into that, let me get this one paper. But yeah, I want to get into some things right now that the government just did with recently, the past couple of weeks. Well, the past couple of months. Number one, he came out in October and said it was going to have a big flu epidemic. Now, how all of a sudden he can, how the hell he going to know who going to catch the flu or not? But then again, if you plan on giving people the flu, you know it exactly. So they told everybody to get the flu shots. And most people ran and got the flu shots, and everybody who got the flu shots came down with the flu. Then they was dropping this melathion in the air and all this stuff with these so-called chemtrails. And these chemtrails are these airplanes, and they'll come and drop stuff every day. They do it for weather too, like my brother said, every day and during the summer in Atlanta, three airplanes would fly by, and an hour later it would start raining. So they was dropping these chemtrails also based on the disease. Dropping whatever it is. They was dropping some stuff called melathion up in New York. And it was dropping this stuff. But what happened was, whatever it was, they fooled people because it had an incubation stage. So they gave them the flu shots and they dropped all this stuff in the air. But the people didn't come down with the flu right away because the people said, hey, something is up. So what they did was, is they waited 2 or 3 months after giving them the flu shot. They gave them the flu shot around October. A lot of people got October and November. But what happened was, they went home because it was an incubation period how this thing is activated. So what they did was, is they went to home for Christmas, and everybody got out for the holidays and doing this winter solstice now. And what you do is people eat a whole lot of food. Now anybody know that consuming a whole lot of food lowers your immune system because your body has to work overtime to digest the food, and so therefore it don't have time. It's like Dr. Reverend Valentine said, that's a white man word. There's no such thing as an immune system. It's defense system. You see what I'm saying? A defense system. And it lowers your defense system. As well as during the New Year's and Christmas holidays, you drink all the alcohol. And alcohol does the same thing. It lowers your defense system. As well as dehydrates you. So as a result, all these people pigged out over the holidays, and January 1, bam, they got a flu epidemic. And it's from the flu shot. So everybody on my girl job that took the flu shot came down with the flu. Everybody who, there was a white girl I met, and she was saying everybody who was on her job came down with the flu. So why did they do this? Number one, they had 2 flu serums. One is called M-Flu-X or whatever. So one day it was advertising on TV. Got the guy to play on Seinfeld, Newman, was playing the flu.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and the guy was mixing up soup, and he was laughing to my soup. I started laughing and all. So they got 2, and they had another one also that they mixed up. I can't think of the name of it. But anyway, if you know anything about the pharmaceutical industry, when they come out with a new vaccine or a new serum or a new medicine, they patent it, but the patent runs off, and they might have a 5-year patent on it, or 4-year patent. And then after the patent runs off, this ensures cheaper companies to get this thing to give it to the people. And you know, so after the 5-year, to give you an example, they came out with all this shit. I just noticed things. They came out with all this Zantac and Tagaman and Pepsid AC around 1995, 96. Now, if you go to like CVS, they got their own brands of the same thing. They didn't have them, so that meant that the patent ran out, and then they could go ahead and the regular generics can go ahead and start producing theirs for you know, Kroger, big supermarket down south, CVS or whatever type thing you have, you know, and you know CVS is all over the country now. You see, ain't that interesting? But they can go ahead and they can do this. So these people got a picture window of about 3 or 4 or 5 years, and they got to sell this flu serum. Now this ain't like the Pepsid AC and shit. A nigga get a stomachache in the summer, or winter, noon, night, or whatever. In order for them to make money, people gotta catch the damn flu. So as a result, they gotta give everybody the flu. And what they saying is, half the people, although the symptoms might have disappeared, they can't get rid of this shit.
That's right.
It's still there.
That's what everybody be saying. Keep it leaving.
And
I'm right back.
my other half didn't come down with the flu, but she had a sore throat from, I think, the end of October up until recently. And for one night she came down with the flu. We got some, you know, she came down with a symptom that would have led to some flu. But like I said, I got a brother, man, he's a fanatic on every herb and everything else and stuff. And he gave us some shit looked like petroleum. Some stuff he cooked up. Looked like some stuff Granny on the Beverly Hillbillies would cook up. Anyway, it knocked the stuff right out. But the point I'm trying to make is, majority of people, they administered this stuff, and the first thing they told them was it's $60 to get this stuff. First of all, they say after you take the flu shot, if you catch the flu, it don't work. Or if you caught the flu shot don't work. You see what I'm saying? Well, that's kind of interesting. It don't work. That lets you know the shit never did work. You see, for the mere fact that they said, now you caught the flu, now you're going to run and get the flu shot. I mean, you can take echinacea not to catch a cold, but once you catch the cold, you can take the same echinacea or vitamin C to help you get rid of the cold. You understand what I'm saying? So, for the mere fact that they told you that the flu shot don't work at all, that means that the flu shot never worked. And basically, they was giving people the flu. Okay? So, then they say you got to get these 2 serums we got out. But it costs $60 to administer them at the doctor. And they had a whole complete payday on people. You see what I'm saying? Right at the doggone New Year's. It's very key on how this thing is. This thing actually goes down. I want to give you some other things in hard copy to look forward to. They got 3 Oscar picks coming up. 3 movies. The Green Mile, concerning black people. The Green Mile. Now it's interesting, now they don't have no black people nominated for nothing, but all of a sudden they got 3 movies, and the central figures in all these movies end up being black people. The Green Mile, Hurricane, and a movie called Cider House Rules. Now the Green Mile is about this guy, you know, in 1930 in this prison, and he got the power to heal, and he's wrongly convicted. Hurricane is about a man, a boxer, real life, true story, wrongly convicted. They make a movie out of his life. So we say that's noble. And I really enjoyed the Hurricane. I thought it was a good movie, especially when him and the black boy got together. I mean, it was real powerful. But then I thought about it. I said, oh, the damn white man done put one on our ass again. In giving us glory, he done put one across on us again. Now these 2 movies, The Hurricane and The Green Mile, although they are movies in both people, the fictional character written by Stephen King in The Green Mile was wrongfully convicted and went to the gas chamber, or the electric chair. In the real life story, this guy's wrongfully convicted, and that's to throw you off. Because also that did happen, and the story was a great story, but you must understand that these both movies, they waited to take these movies and release them at a strategic time at the beginning of the new year, and that's for a reason. Although they are innocent, and we know that, they still in jail. They still give you a picture of the black man in jail. You see the concept? There's 2 black people in the movie that's in prison. They are in prison. So whether they were wrongfully convicted or not, for the mere fact that they made another movie about a nigga being in prison is a form of the ongoing mind control and character assassination in image slavery, or the image Holocaust. Then they're going to take these 2 movies and put them in the Oscars. Now everybody in the world going to be watching the Academy Award, because this shit is worldwide now, especially all English-speaking countries. You see what I'm saying? Because all movie cinema around the world copy American movie cinema. You see what I'm saying? So they're going to be watching this, and the 2 black men are in prison. So whether you like that or not, we got too many movies and too many people in prison to make another damn movie about a motherfucking prison. You say, well, the Hurricane thing was real. No, you got to understand the reason why they pick movies. We got a lot of other real shit that don't get to no screen. And although Denzel was in it and they picked it and it was a good movie, You understand what I'm saying? The timing and the reason why they pick things is to say, that's what a millennium is for you. The black man ass in jail. Okay, now that's one movie, and that's bad enough. Then they got to get a movie that's coming out now. It's in the theaters now. And this has got to be the ultimate assassination on both the black man and the black woman and black people in general. This movie is called Cider House Rules. And this movie is about a little boy, white boy, who grows up in an orphanage. And the doctor in the orphanage teaches him medicine. And not only does he teach him medicine, he teaches him how to have abortions, because this is taking place in the 1940s and the 1930s. And he teaches him abortion. So as a result, because you know abortion was illegal, and he was saying the reason why I'm teaching you this and stuff, we would much rather have a person come here and get it the right way than to have somebody stretched out on the table with all these other horrible methods they have of people getting abortion and somebody end up bleeding and dying. Okay, well, whatever, political, whatever. So this rich white boy comes to the orphanage, because that's where they do abortion. You secretive to bring your girl up there to get it done right. He comes to the orphanage with his girlfriend to get an abortion. So the guy is this group grown up in the orphanage at this time is like 19 to 20, and he wants to leave the orphanage because he want to get out on his own because he's never seen no world or nothing. So he decides to leave with these particular people, this rich boy and his girlfriend, to go out on his own, to get outside of the orphanage. And so the rich boy says, my family own an apple farm, and they make apple cider. So you can go there and work on the cider farm. So when he gets there, he has to work with all these black people. And these black people, by him being in an orphanage, he is just elated just to be out amongst humans, period. So he works with the black people and identifies as being one of them. Now, the black people in the movie is Erykah Badu is in the movie. The guy Delroy Lindo, you know, West Indian Archie and Malcolm X. Heavy D and a couple other black unknown actors, but you've seen them in certain movies. So all of a sudden, misconscious Erykah Badu, the movie takes a turn, and the movie all centers around her all of a sudden. So he's there, and they're working, and they're making the apples, and they got all this stuff going on, and he's having camaraderie with the black field hands. And Erykah Badu is the daughter to Delroy Lindo, who is like the patriarch of the whole cider house field hand. So they got these rules, cider house rules, and nobody could read. So the white boy comes and he reads the rules to them. Because none of these niggas can read. Now in the 1930s, that's some bullshit. You understand what I'm saying? In segregation, most black people graduated high. There was no such thing as a black person graduating high school that couldn't read. And just for the mere fact that you even put that in the 1930s, it sends a message and stuff that we didn't know how to read until we doggone integrated. And you best believe some white people think that way too. So, the movie, so he reads the rules or whatever, but the movie takes a strange twist. Erykah Badu ends up pregnant. So he has to go, and he's supposed to do this. He's telling her he was a doctor and he can perform an abortion. But then it gets real nasty. Because come to find out, Erykah Badu's father, played by Delroy Lindo, is the one who she's having the damn baby for. And I said, you see this bullshit, savage shit? Now here go the little 20-year-old white boy going up to Delroy Lindo in the movie saying, hey man, you don't screw your daughter. Like he's some kind of savage. You see? Like he's some kind of savage. That same old color purple shit all over again. You see? But yeah, you got that too and all, but it didn't go that far, but still, yeah, ain't that some shit? Send that message. You see? So it's the same old color purple stuff going on. You know? And so he goes up to her and you don't screw your daughter and all this kind of thing here, and it's an awful mess. And Erykah Badu is pregnant. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold on now. You supposed to be Miss Conscious Queen and all this shit here talking about the mothership and all, and you mean to tell me that you don't have enough brains to know when a person puts you in a doggone role to know not whether a person is exploiting you? And they say not only that, she was a real dumb one, but see, then again, on the other hand, they will do anything. These people who stardom will make any of these people do anything to get their face on the screen. Because half the other actresses in Hollywood turn the role down. But you don't understand the savage part. The savage part is not just to make a movie generally going by all white people to see this movie. And it would have been just like any other movie. You'd have found it on your video shelf 4 or 5 months from now, a year from now. But it's even worse now because all of a sudden the movie that wasn't that damn good, I mean, it was all right, but it wasn't Academy Award stature. Now this movie is being presented at the fucking Oscars. So now they get ready to hold this whole bullshit up to the world now. To savage you. See how they are? Plus, because they got it in a period piece from the 1930s, they saying that that's normal with black people. They've always done that because they got the color purple to back the shit up too. And if you don't think that people look at your image from a series of movies, you crazy. Because they goddamn sure ain't gonna go to the damn ghetto to go see how you act. Too scared. So the only way they gonna get is you fucking your damn daddy and shit is black history. See what I'm saying? And that's how this thing is going down. The other movie is Any Given Sunday. Anybody seen this movie? This has got to be the saddest movie in black history. They got my man, he can't read up in there, and they talking about how he can't read, Jamie Foxx. They got the song Nigga, 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 a Nigga, Nigga playing, and then they show a big black dick for a good 3 minutes on the screen. Now you know that they have rated R movies, they show the white woman titties all day long, but they don't show that much penises not unless it's a glimpse. No, you see a big black penis, super long might I add. That way you know that they're focusing on it. Look at this thing here, and he's standing like this in the locker room. You don't see no other white people with penises. See what I'm saying? And this movie is savage and black. They got Lawrence Taylor up in the movie. So the movie all starts with the white quarterback getting hurt and Jamie Foxx go in there and take over. The white quarterback, in the movie, he's concerned about his back, and he's concerned he don't want to play no more because the pain is so much, so he's concerned that he might not walk again or might, so he really wants to quit. Here's Lawrence Taylor, he got one more game to play, and the man told him, look nigga, a couple of years ago you broke your neck. And it didn't heal right, so you might go up in there today and you might get off the field or you might get hit, and it might be over for you. No, I gotta get my last pension, I gotta get my last game, I gotta get my $1 million. He go in there and get hit and almost dead. And then he wakes up with blood in his mouth, and so that he's not dead, he's not paralyzed. They taking him off the field and stuff. He never, I got my $1 million. But yet a white man is noble and saying, hell, I'm concerned about my health. So all the white people in the movie is noble. All the black people, they ask, and it's interesting because all of a sudden Al Pacino, when Jamie Foxx is talking, Al Pacino is turning to Jim Brown saying, what did he say? Really savaging black people. So he goes on the plane and Jamie Foxx is listening to the rap music. He said, who you listen to? He said, Trick Daddy. And Al Pacino say, you ever listen to any Coltrane, Miles Davis, or anybody like that? He like, I don't pretty much get into the old stuff. You know what I'm saying? As if Al Pacino is saying, question him on, you know what I'm saying, what kind of nigga are you? You see what I'm saying? I mean, it's a lot of subtle things. I'm just telling you half of the stuff that's up in the actual movie. Then they got LL Cool J running the last play, one of the couple of last plays of the game, and he runs out of bounds, and the guy said, good. Al Pacino said, good, this is the first time you thought with your head and not your dick. Savaging black people. And they got this song, Nigga, 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 playing through the middle, playing, and Oliver Stone did this shit. So he can do all the doggone JFK and Vietnam and Wall Street, but when it come to niggas, he says the same thing. We gonna savage your ass. Very key. So this is the very key on how they doing stuff. I just want to put that out so you can go ahead and do this. Another thing also too in the hard copy is this Diallo situation in New York City with the 45 times. Number one, that ain't nothing but a government setup. Number one, the guy that shot, he got shot 45 times. And they got this trial. Number one, that's a government setup. Number one, they shot him 45 times. You understand what I'm saying? So that they can send this actual message. You see what I'm saying? Number one, it's also, and I'm going to go into some passages today on how this is done. They get energy whenever you jump up all emotional. You see, at certain cardinal points in time. So now this is coming up on the vernal equinox. Easter is right around the corner.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? Now, if you've been following the trial, them crackers may very well get off. You see what I'm saying? But the whole thing is set up to get a whole bunch of Negroes mad so they can use the actual energy as far as emotion. We'll get into that. So that whole thing is an actual setup. You got to understand what's going on. Now, do you know that these white people, let me get a couple other things I want to deal with right now. Number one, I wanted to go back and tell you this here too, because sometime now, because we conscious, we got to understand that this white boy is doing certain rituals and stuff, so we can even go back and backtrack. 1982, 83, I think it was 1982, marked one of the saddest days for black people. What they did. Basically what they did is they did a ritual and they took Richard Pryor and put him in the movie The Toy. Remember this movie? Mm-hmm. And what this did, it was a ritual, and what this thing actually did, it totally castrated the black man. And had this little white boy running all around, you treat them like a fool, all because of some money, like saying, you know, look at this is the pathetic nigga that we can hire to do what we want to do. And he's in this movie acting like a buffoon. But a couple of years before that, he wrote Bicentennial Negro, and at the end of the doggone album, he dropped on them about how messed up we are and how he ain't gonna never forget. But then also too, when they took him into the, when he got burnt up in 1980 and went to the hospital, they lobotomized him and then they put him in this pathetic movie. You see what I'm saying? They put him into this particular movie also too. So now I want to deal with this here too. How much time we got?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. I want to deal with this, then we're going to go to a break and all, and some people get that and all, and we're going to come back and go into some esoteric things. We got a lot of stuff to cover. Both, we're going to go from both, because there's a lot of things happening on the physical plane during this 2000, and we got to address those things too. And that is the esoteric thing. The way they are acting means that they are scared of something. Including this thing where they got that black Jesus Christ that the Pope and all them put out, right, for Christmas. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So that lets you know they're running scared anytime they can fit, they can mission to put this black Jesus Christ thing out. Now, do you know these crackers? They found some new bones. It's on Nova right now. The two things you're going to watch out on November the 22nd. Nova, that's your PBS thing. They got one on there where they went, they got, the November 22nd comes the Lost Tribe of Israel. That's what you got to remember. Check your local listings of Nova when this thing is coming out. If you can't catch it, I have the actual tape because my girl works up at the Atlanta Journal and Constitution, so they get a lot of that stuff in advance for review, so I saw it a couple of months ago. So it will be coming on the 22nd on Nova. The Lost Tribe of Israel. Now, I'll get into that in a few minutes to tell you what this thing is about.
Did you mean November?
Not November. It's coming on 22nd of this month, February. When is when?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Tuesday. It's coming on Tuesday. 22nd of this month. There's another thing that they're dealing with on Nova right now. I saw it last week, and it should be airing again. And they're dealing with this, they find the oldest Native American bones in the country. And they found the skulls, and they say this thing is like 7,000 or 10,000 years ago. So they did, you know how it is where they go in here, and it's interesting how they go in and they put the damn facial features back on it with all the clay, but they always tend to come out white looking. You do 100 of these shits and they always end up looking like motherfucking Winston Churchill or some damn Richard Burton.
Yeah, they do.
What kind of shit is this? Now the nose is gone, so don't tell me you got a damn way that you know how the nose is, and they always come up with some old hook nose, bagel nose, whatever. Now, they got this thing where they put it back the oldest Native American, and when they trace them, they say that they don't look nothing like the so-called Asians, because they're talking about that whole Bering Strait, how the Asians walked across and all this kind of thing here. But they look more European. I say this damn white man don't stop at nothing. They look more European. Then, so they got this whole thing and all, and it's this debate on how these damn, the earlier Native Americans, they say this further off from the ancestry of Native Americans they knew when they got here. They look more European. I say this cracker don't stop at no. He pull out all the stops. He's a rebel without a pause. Then,
in that regard, didn't they say that just cross out the name the Mayax and put Omac instead of the Maya?
yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, Blair talks about that, and yes, the way they fabricate stuff, like they say right now, they over in Egypt and they just working and shit, man. They in the tombs and stuff, man, and they got all kind of people down there, and they painting up shit, whitening up shit. They got all these Ramesses tombs. They tell them now that shit ain't gonna be ready for the next 10 years. They up in there working and stuff. When you know when they're doing this shit gonna look like doggone. They're gonna look like the Brady Bunch on the walls in Hemmitt. But yet they are the Ramesside kings. Now Ramesses is a black man. You know, Ramesses is a black man. So they're gonna look like the damn Brady Bunch when they open up them tombs about 10 years from now. Hell, they can open them up now, but they're in there painting up all the walls. Now here's the other one. So they done said that the doggone Native Americans are European. That's what the hell they saying. The origin, they were Caucasus. The hell, wait a minute, how the hell you the oldest man in the world and stuff, and you didn't even know how to wash up until last year? Come on, get the hell out of here. Okay, this is the other one they had. Then they went to Asia and they found some damn Asian type person, some Tibetan type Asian type person in the ice. And then they said that it had on some type of plaid material. And the Asians wasn't making that plaid material at that time. How the fuck you know? The Asians wasn't making that plaid material at this time, and the only people was making that plaid material was some Europeans. So the origin of the Asians is European. I'm like, well, wait a minute, hold on. You can get the doggone recessive from the dominant. Now all of a sudden you telling me all these dominant people, because the Asian is darker than you, especially the early Asians and the Tibetans, and the Native Americans, if you look at the ones that you have here, they darker than you. But you can get the doggone the recessive from the dominant. Now you turn around because they know that people are idiots. People believe anything that come on that fucking TV. The dominant is coming from the damn recessive. Okay, now here's another thing. You know that now this is interesting. Two sides. One part is a great day because of the simple fact they found some. This is the one that's coming on Tuesday. The lost tribe of Israel. You know that them crackers, when they got down in South Africa, that they had some Native American, they had some black people in South Africa that was Hebrew. Didn't have nothing to do with the South Africans. They been down there and they done held this shit for years. Didn't tell nobody about it. Now they coming out with it that they got a black tribe down there that's Hebrew. Study the faith and all. They call it Limba. And that's what it's going to be about. And they done went and the gurus are saying we Hebrew, and they give them all this practice and all they wear the doggone the yarmulkes and all this stuff here, and the griot, everything he said panned out. He told them that we came from Israel, we came here, we came to South Africa after stopping off in a place called Sinner. They went to Arabia, found the place Sinner, but when they went to Arabia, there was a brother looked like me. See, that's another thing. They had to go to, couldn't go to them white areas. They had to go to a brother. Although he was about as light as me, but he looked like me, and his hair was all nappy. So that's another thing. So they found sinner. Then this is the catch. They did some DNA with the priest that's in Israel, and they took some DNA from the priest in Israel and matched it up with these people, and they found traces of the same DNA based on the priestly line. Now, you might have automatically know that in actuality that you can't get the doggone recessive from the dominant from the recessive. So if the DNA matches up, you know what that means, don't you? That means that the original Jews is the ones from South Africa. Because you can get the recessive from the dominant, but not the dominant from the recessive. And this also bears witness with what Francis Cress Wilson was saying, because you know the Moors dropped their seed whenever they went to. So if they inducted these damn fake Jews and made these Jews, converted them, they showed enough blacking up some of them mugs up in there too. And it's like what's the name say, they took the last 700 years trying to lighten their ass up. You see what I'm saying? Trying to lighten their behind up. So this is interesting because also what it is saying is it's showing that the origin of these Hebrews is black. Because even the ones, you know, the ones in Ethiopia, they got some dark ones, but you know, they are dark and more like they're dominant. We know that that's an original thing. But what they're trying to do is, we know that, but the thing about it is, these ain't no Africana people. You know how you go south and they got some real light ones? No, these mugs is the Negroid stock. So there's no doubt about it. You can't get a Negroid stock. You know that that's some untouched shit. You understand? So there ain't no white Africana people walking around and stuff, you know, Cherry Hill and all that shit. These are some Negroid people. So that means that the origin of them got to be black. You see what I'm saying? Now this is the key on why they doing it, and this is the catch. So one mystery is they did the DNA, but you got to realize that they did, in order to do it, most niggas gonna think that it's authentic, thinking that the white Jews are, but whenever they even link that, one of the mysteries is they are also authenticating their original Hebrews. That's what you need to understand on that thing, but you already knew that they were black. The other thing is this. They notice you thinking that it's black, but guess what? And they know the average person, just by with the mythology, know that they black. But what they're doing is this. Now they're saying that if we even got some black people in our bloodline, then that still makes us authentic, even if they are the original Hebrews. And we'll bear witness to that because we can't front that shit no more. But we got a link with them also too, because we in the family. You see what I'm saying? Like when they know when you got the goods, they want to be part of your ass now, because they can't lie no more. So when the lie rises up that you ain't the real Jew, the least they can say is we gotta, well in that case we their children because we got the same genetic thing, we part of the family. See, they'll even get, just to get a part of the real shit, they'll even say that we some doggone bastardized children. Then to say that we ain't got nothing to do with the Jews at all and we're just totally fake. You see. So we're gonna go to a break. When we come back, we're gonna go into some more stuff. We got a lot of stuff to deal with. Like I said, I got my rituals, and I got the Osiris book, and I got a couple other things. So the people who didn't get that, get the rituals and stuff, because this stuff you might very well need it at this particular time. So we
Still want me to get the chalk?
no, we got some. Yeah. What time is it?
6:30.
Okay, cool. All right.
Okay.
We get ready to start back up. Okay. That's for the book. No.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
For the book.
Yeah.
This is for the book.
Yeah.
And the pig and the $10.
Yeah, just, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. You're welcome.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
All right. Okay, we back now. Now tell them if somebody talking and all that distracts me, so yeah. All right, so we're back now. I want to go through a couple other things. Like I was saying about this limber, these white people are now saying, hey, even if we can't front that we are the original Hebrews, what we can do is somehow link ourselves in the family. So when they do the DNA, when you do the stuff and say, hey, wait a minute, the dominant can't, the recessive can't come from the dominant can't come from the recessive, they'll go, okay, then these people are the original link, as well as the ones in Ethiopia, but because our DNA match and stuff, we in the family too. That's their way to authenticate themselves. Now, you know, your boy that wrote your Moses mystery. It's called the Moses mystery in hardback. It's called the Bible myth in paperback. You know the guy named, anybody know that book? Anybody ever got that book, the Moses mystery? And it's dealing with the whole Egyptian origins of the Hebrew. In that book, his name is Greenhorn, I think. No, Gary Greenberg. Gary Greenberg. He proves without a shadow of a doubt, just like Gerald Massey did, just like Sigmund Freud did, just like I did on my tapes, just like Charles French did, and a host of others, that the Hebrews have their origins in Kemet and are actually Egyptians. Now he proves that, and his thing is basically based on the premise that the Hebrews are Camite people. But he don't tell you that the Camite people were black. So what this cracker is doing is taking his origin of Jewish thing and tracing it back to Kemet and proving it is Egyptian, and then, but he don't tell you it's black, so that means in actuality that he's trying to say that they are, well, you can give it to me, that they are Egyptian. See how they do this stuff? Everything is revised in history to fit them. So what his premise is, although the book is hell, for the mere fact that he don't mention that it's a black civilization, he's saying that they come from Kemet, and they are Egyptians. So that's another way to counter the whole Afrocentric thing also, too. Very key on the way they do things. The way they do things. So let me go through some things right now. A few other things on this list that I want to deal with. That I want to deal with right now. Let's see. And then we can go on. Yeah. First of all, there's another movie called Girl Interrupted that has Whoopi Goldberg in it. She playing the mammy role again, as she was famous for. She's famous for playing the mammy role. It's called Girl Interrupted. And in this movie, not only that, they call her a mammy, because she's basically one of the nurses or something in the mental institution, and this girl goes to a mental institution, but every time they get mad, when they go, oh Lord, and Mississippi, they start singing this slave song to her ass. Now, I thought most people buck dance in Hollywood to get to a certain level of stature, and they don't take them roles no more. She does the opposite, because she was put in there as status quo. When they can't find a black person to take a doggone role that's demeaning, they can go get old Whoopi ass. You got to understand how this thing is going. But she's in this movie, buck dancing. Also, the movie Supernova. It should still be in theaters. It came out the first of the year.